Fucking yes, we're back. We're back once again with a beautiful message. I just wanted to highlight this one from Creighton C. Creighton C 8147. Time for Jackson Bunghole. We are gonna need some TP for our bungholes. The mighty bunghole Cornholio wants more data. That's right. He's gonna want some more data. And actually, it looks like we're gonna be live while he's speaking as well. So I'm rather excited about that. Looks like I probably fucked around my camera enough too. So let's see. Can we go in? Can we go out? Okay, I guess that's just what it is gonna be today. Anyways, perhaps time's for a new lens because that one's perhaps a little bit too wide. Figuring out my whole setup here still, but I do expect that we actually will probably get some real movement today based off of that event. Not necessarily, don't necessarily have like a super high opinion of exactly what it's going to go in the short term, but in the medium and the long term, yes, indeed, I do. However, in the short term, I still think that this market's kind of ripe for a bit of a corrective bounce first before anything else. But if we're going to get something like that, it probably comes off the back of today's event. But there are still many things that do suggest lower. We'll get into that a little bit later today, obviously, as usual. But until then, I think that we're just going to be waiting around for the next 50 minutes or so until we get that event, and then you're going to see price action start to flip and flop depending upon each and every last fucking word that this guy says and the syllables that he enunciates or decides not to enunciate. These or enunciate. I'm probably fucking up the words as well myself. It is what it is, man. That's just the crazy game that we play here, and well, that's also why we love it. That's why we're fucking crypto nerds who for some reason are sticking around during a time like, shit, it's not too hard to stick around if you've been around in this market for a long time, because for fuck's sake, Bitcoin's above $100,000, which is absolutely insane. But for the newcomers, I imagine that this is rather boring. Bitcoin's not going up 50%. It's also not going down 50%. Crazy. It's going in a range, a very large range, but percentage-wise, not anything too crazy right now. Nice pink shares crown. Thanks, man. It's for myself, of course. As you know, all of these pink things are definitely for me. I love pink. I also am a closet homo, and it is what it is. Mr. Pow Pow says, hello to all. Hello to you as well, sir. Kijo's dad says, when I got into crypto, I thought that it won't trade so tightly to politics and the TradFi world. Well, it definitely follows exactly what TradFi, it definitely follows what mainly the tech sector is doing. The political world, I don't really think that matters all that much. Bitcoin basically just goes up no matter who's president. It's gone up and gone down, whether it's Republican or a Democrat. I think that it's a massive fucking psyop to pay attention to politics. I think it's a massive fucking psyop to pay attention to news in general, because here's the thing, it's all subjective. We can witness the exact same event and you and I can have completely different opinions on it. In fact, if you actually if you actually have ever studied law, one of the things is that in a courtroom, a witness's testimony is basically worth shit. It's basically worth nothing, because studies have been shown that, two people can watch a fucking car wreck and have completely different, opinions as to what actually caused it, who is responsible for it. And so for that reason, our memory of things and especially our subjective interpretations of events that are really fucking nuanced to begin with, that no one even truly understands. It's just a complete fucking waste of time, in my opinion. You'll never have something objective with that. At least with price action, as imperfect as it is, at least with price, the price is objective. The price is the fucking price. That's what people are actually paying and selling for this highly esteemed asset as of this exact moment in time. Your opinions of the political sphere of who's going to do this and who's going to do that, you have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. No one has a fucking clue. And all of these fundamental analysts have been telling you that, XYZ is going to happen, and it almost never fucking happens, man. I even remember like a year or two ago, I was talking with this guy who is convinced that fundamental analysis is like the only thing that matters and news analysis is the only thing that matters. And he says, well, guess what? I predicted the Russian-Ukraine war. I'm like, great. How did you trade? He said, well, I did pretty bad. I didn't understand this part of it. It's like, yeah, exactly. Because it's not fucking objective, man. It's not fucking objective. At the end of the day, in fact, I was just reading a book this morning, or listening to a book, I should say, and it was going over studies about how people who watch and read the news are actually more lobotomized than people who do not. Basically, what I'm trying to say is basically what the book was trying to say is that the more news you read, the less informed you are, and the more usually retarded you are as well, because you're not just able to pay attention to longer things in general. It's bad, man. It's bad. Grandpa says, I have an idea. Let's wait and see. Very astute observation, sir. And you know what? Actually, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But in the meantime, we do have several probabilistic setups. In fact, we'll be speaking about a couple of new ones in today's video. And probabilities matter. Probabilities matter. probabilities matters. News pieces don't really, or at least, I mean, they kind of do matter. It's just you don't know how to fucking interpret it. I don't know how to fucking interpret it. No one knows how to fucking interpret it. Why? Because the financial situation is so complicated that no single person can possibly ever understand everything that goes into that equation. But at least with price, you have something that's pure. You have something that is objective. That's all that we can go off of. That's why we focus on that on this channel. Again, it is going to be imperfect. If you're new here, get the fuck off this channel. If you're old here, you can stay as long as you understand probabilities and not certainties. If you're not that person, I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. Maybe you're just getting ready to write a nasty comment. But it is what it is, man. Anyways, Kijo's dad says, true story, I need to learn to drown out the noise and study the charts more. It's like, look, you're going to be better off in most facets in life if you just fucking nuke your news channels, whether it be, Twitter, whether it be mainstream media like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, CNBC, all these things, they're all the same thing. It's entertainment first. You have to understand the news is entertainment. The newspapers that you read, they are not objective. They're heavily biased. It is not, the purpose is not to inform, it is to entertain. That is how they make their money. So that is what their natural motivation and incentive are. I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. People need to be entertained, right? And what better entertainment than the pseudo sort of information that you're receiving, thinking that you're a good citizen of the world, being informed. But you're actually just losing your ability to critical think, and you're also probably giving up a lot of your personal happiness as well. Sorry. Here's your nasty comment. How dare you? Disdain from South Africa. Sounds like you get another invite to South Africa. I ain't fucking going because I've read the news. No, I'm kidding, man. Draw some lines and tell me when it's going up. Good luck with that, brother. I think you got some bounces maybe, but this is not the time for a boo-law major continuation, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. In my opinion, can change at a moment's notice. So if none of the 30 top signals have triggered, then the cycle is different. You are massively misinterpreting what the fuck I'm saying, as are many people. Holy fucking shit. Okay, I need to say something very directly to the lobotomized fucking retard morons of this channel, which I massively apologize using these terms, okay? I'm not trying to be offensive to those people of the world. I'm trying to be offensive to unthinking fucking idiots. Can you experience a 100 to 150 day long sideways consolidation with a perhaps 30% correction, and can the cycle still continue? I don't know. Have we seen this maybe many times before in this own fucking cycle, for fuck's sake? Happened right here. Happened right here. How short memories do we have? 31% down, made new highs about 160 days later. Amazing. What about over here? 33.85% down, made new highs 238 days later. Oh my God! Wait a second. And what do we have here? Another 22% down, new highs 196 days later. Hold on. Bro, are you saying the cycle is over because price might literally go down $1? It's not going up in a straight fucking line. And I was told this thing just goes parabolic by Herpity Derp channel, who tells me that shit is always going fucking up no matter what the hell is happening. Oh my fucking God. The entitlement of people in this market thinking that things just only go fucking up, and you're guaranteed your 4-year fucking cycle and all of this bullshit. You're right. It's over, man. See you in another 200 days. For fuck's sake, man. Sir Crown, can you flip your camera horizontally? I don't know how to do that. Let me try. Hold on. I might actually know how to do that. Let me see. Let's see. Can I flip? Wait, actually, I think I can. Okay, I'm gonna try something right here. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Oh my God, it worked! Holy shit. That's actually pretty cool. That was pure luck. That was pure luck on this one. I'm gonna crop this camera a little bit more. You don't need to see all my fucking or Elsa's things in the background. Just one moment here. I'm learning the internet. Okay, is left gonna be this side now? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do something like that. There we go. That looks better. Kind of. Not really. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Okay, beautiful. I like this Bitcoin trading like an ETF action. Yeah, I mean, it's... I think it's generally a good thing, but crypto lobotomites who think you're just guaranteed to go fucking parabolic like past cycles, I think it's going to be a massive awakening, a call for that. I mean, how has it not been already? For fuck's sake, this cycle is 1,000,000% different than prior cycles. When in prior cycles have you seen 6-month-long consolidations on new all-time highs leading to new all-time highs after that? Never. Not fucking once. Not even close to once. It's always been a straight parabolic shot up to new all-time highs. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. Now I'm getting stressed. I need to stop reading the comments. What's up, Peter Underwood? Good to see you, man. Mr. Gallo. I moved. That's right, man. We flipped that computer real fast, real fucking fast. Natch Boons, thank you for the feedback, by the way, on that. I didn't know it was such a big deal to some people, but you're actually not the first person to mention it, so fair enough. I'm glad that we could actually fix that, because I get what you mean. Like it does kind of look a little bit weird, I guess. Mr. Cowboy NZ, good morning to you, man. Crypto Grok, it's Asti. Fear and Loathing from California. Hell yeah, we got some disdain coming around the world. This is good. Can you flip the camera above your head? Actually, I can do this. I can do this. At least I know how to do that now. You can trust this guy because he doesn't buy XRP. I mean, well, look, I can give you my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm going to be fucking right about everything, but yeah, I also ain't fucking buying XRP, man. Let's actually look at XRP. I'm genuinely curious. How's this one holding up during this this beginning of the bear market? No, the correction. Look, it might turn into market cycle over. I'm open-minded to all these things. I don't think too far ahead. What I think about is just the next step. But is this bearish right here? Not necessarily. No. Is it corrective? Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. Is it going to reconnect with the red 5 EMA? Maybe. Probably. Is that anything out of the ordinary? Not really. But guys, it hasn't gone up in the last 2 days. I think it's over, man. I think it's over. Pack up the bags, sell everything, fucking go short 100x as well, and make sure not to use a stop loss. And for the lobotomites of the world, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. No jokes allowed, says Elsa. Yeah. See, that's the thing. This channel was never supposed to be this big. This channel was supposed to remain small for just the true crazies of the world, and somehow it got too big. But we deal with that as it is. Happy Fry High Day, says Mr. 8911. I see what you did there, sir. It's just Fry High Day? What about the other days, man? Just one day out of the week? I don't use stop losses or condoms. Well, at least you're consistent, so I like that. Powell needs some TP for this bunghole. What's up, Mr. Henry Weinecker? Good to see you, man. Meditate with your dog and watch Abundance, sir. Yes, indeed. We need to watch some more Abundance, sir. I need to do some more Namaste. I'm obviously very high-strung this morning. Not good. You have nice shoulder hair. Thank you. Disdain. Whoa, there's a bug on me right now. It's a little fly. I don't know. There's fucking bugs here. No, it wasn't. I mean, for you, it might be big, but for me, no. Gallo says, still happy with MetaSignals, but what are your thoughts taking signals when external shit like DAX and holes is happening? Whenever you have events like this, the short term is going to be, flighty, floaty. It's going to be volatile, right? So you kind of have to, if you're going to be looking at those signals, I think you have to look at them with an imperfect eye, and I wouldn't be taking them at face value. A lot of the time with MetaSignals, the best ones will actually go around the stop loss, maybe even wicking below, which again, it does not constitute an actual loss for those setups. You actually have to see a closure below. Holy shit. How do some people not fucking understand this? It literally says right on the card. And then the next question I always get is, bro, how likely do you think this target is? It literally has the fucking probabilities on it. Holy shit. How are you on the internet? How are you on the internet? How did you get dressed today? How did you go to work? How did you get to this point in life? Probably by reading the news. It is what it is, man. I'll keep my nose out of the Jackson's hole. Where do you have your own personal stop loss? Okay, what? Oh my fucking God. You really are an idiot. Like so many retarded comments from the same person. What? The assumptions that are made off of so little. Look, here's what I do with Bitcoin. I buy and I hold. That's what I do. Do I have an open trade right now? No, I do not. I talk about general directional analysis on YouTube. Somehow you think that that constitutes a trade. Damn. I cry every time I see shit like this. I cry. I cry. How can someone think like this? Yeah. Gallo says, I love it when it's 80% probability and it fails. It happens, man. It happens. But that's why you play probabilities over time. Again, I'm being way too fucking mean this stream. I don't actually think that, by the way. Just having a little bit of fun. At your expense, unfortunately. But don't worry. You'll have fun at my expense as well over a longer period of time. I will make terrible, terrible calls. I'll do terrible, terrible things that you can make fun of me. And it's all good. And it's all good. We've all been that retarded once. That's right. We don't go full retard, but we all go full retard at least once. And that is how it goes, man. So we should be more understanding. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I do need a hug. I don't know why, man. I don't know why I feel this way this morning. I guess it's just the very slight lack of sleep that I've had. I know some people love it, some people hate it, but it is what it is, man. I don't actually think these things about these people, but it is funny. It is funny in the moment. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, where the fuck do you get that? Like, seriously. Seriously. It's like you can tell people exactly what the fuck you're doing and they don't even, some people don't even understand. Most people do. That's what I have to remind myself. Most people are actually like pretty good, you know? When I read through the comments, like 90% will be, okay, yeah, like this guy obviously gets it, like all good. Then I'll read like one and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck went wrong with you, sir? Anyways, enough of that. Oh, it's a nice thunderstorm. Amazing. Another thunderstorm. I just realized that the bottom of my screen is actually not visible. So let me try to fix this really quickly. Again, this would be something that you can make fun of me for being absolutely fucking retarded because I continue to get this one wrong. But there we go. Easy fix right there. We'll take a sip of this water and then we'll get into some actual price action analysis. It's going to be difficult here too for price action analysis just because the short term is quite different than the medium term. And then the long term is still the same. But yeah, like when we get into these nuanced situations where like, you know, short term is going a different way than like the medium term, it can be very, very confusing. And I have to be very careful with the way that I express myself because I understand how that can be confusing because it's like you talk about one thing and then people are like, hey, what the fuck? But you said this. Like, look, both of these things can happen. They just happen on different timelines. Like, but yeah. Creighton C says, I love people who try and it is what it is. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, man. And just because I have an opinion doesn't mean it's going to be fucking right. But like I say, I go off statistics and probabilities. That means I trust that over time it's going to be more right than not. But I also know it's inevitable that it will be wrong. And, you know, even just a couple months ago, you know, I got things that were just terribly wrong. But I'd still stick by them just because it is backed up by probabilities. I'm always going to go with the more likely of scenarios rather than not when given the choice because, well, that's what's more likely. So I know if I just continue to bet on that over time, then it's going to be more right than not. But not every time. That's what people don't understand about probabilities. Like I read these comments sometimes, man. These ones just really hurt my soul where it's like, it's the equivalent of like someone saying, on average, men are taller than women. And then someone in the comments will say, that's not true. My aunt is taller than my uncle. It's not true. You're fucking lying. It's like, holy shit. Holy shit. You don't understand like the most simple of simple terms, you fucking idiot. Like, you should not be allowed to do many things in life. You shouldn't be allowed to drive, to vote, to drink, to do drugs. You should be kept in a cell somewhere so that you don't hurt anyone else with your stupid fucking decisions. That's just my opinion. And it's really, really good thing that I'm not king of the world because I might do something like that. And probably someone should put me in a fucking cell too, man. Holy shit. I'm also retarded. How do you structure your taxes as a full-time trader? Do you trade through an LLC? Yeah, I mean, like if you are a professional trader, you should have, in my opinion, you really should have, you should probably have an S Corp, honestly, man. At least an LLC, probably an S Corp. But talk with your fucking tax, don't talk with me about this. I'm not a tax professional. I've spent a lot of time studying it, but you really need a true tax professional if you are in the US, just because it gets very, very complicated, and a good accountant will save you so much money. They are worth their weight in gold, and it'll all be legal. You'll be able to sleep at night. It'll be great, man. So go with that, man. Anyways, okay, yeah, let's get into some Bitcoin action here. Let me just pull up my notes really quickly so I can actually flow through this one, flow through very, very well, hopefully. Okay, cool. So let's get this chart, this chart, this chart. All right, I think we are all good in the hood on that one. So yeah, let's start it off over here. Ooh, and I'm going to record this one as well. Apologies for the very unprofessional burp, but no apologies for the rants. Kidding. Okay, kidding. All right. Bitcoin is initiating yet another setup on another major time frame that we've been looking at. Oh, shit. Hold on. This is not flowing. The words are not flowing like my mouth, like shit from ass. And I just started, oh my God, man. I just started watching this long analysis, like this 7-hour long analysis video on YouTube about Spartacus, Blood and Sand. I fucking love that show. I wish that there was another show like it, but there's not. Or if you know another one like it, tell me, because I love it. I can't get enough of it. It reminds me of that. Bitcoin is heading into a very, very critical close here for the end of the week for CME, and several setups are starting now to emerge, and the short, medium, and long term for Bitcoin are starting to really formulate into a complex picture. But I want to continue with this thread of analysis, starting with some daily price statistics. Daily price statistics for Friday does favor positive closures over negative closures. Of course, I don't really care all that much about that because these differentials are not that much. It's 52.5% in favor of positive closures for Friday since 2023 began. Of course, we got an event coming up a little bit later today as well with Jackson's Hole. In fact, that'll be coming up about 30 minutes. So, the picture may change, probably some volatile wicks on both sides. But of course, we're much more interested in the average gain and average loss for Fridays. And once again, we saw actually yesterday play off of the bottom end of that average loss. Again, nice little scalp areas if you are on the short-term time frame trade schedule. Now, in this case, if we were to look to the bottom end of this, that would imply an area of interest around 110,700, give or take a little bit from that number. So if Bitcoin does wick down there intraday here, you probably got a little bit of a short-term scalp play. I'm not saying you should be holding that for life. I'm not saying that you should be doing anything. I'm not your fucking financial advisor. You're responsible for your own damn decisions, but I can tell you that it's probably going to bounce at least on the first pass. On the other side, we can see that Bitcoin does have a nice boundary for the average gain high at around 114,900. Again, if you do see price action, stab up around there, probably a good, a good area to be expecting at least a short-term pullback. Who knows where these things close at the end of the day. But ultimately, these are now leading into some major setups that have evolved. Now, if you recall from the past 2.5 to 3 weeks, we were looking at this daily setup here on CME, which was an interplay between the red moving average and the yellow moving average. When we see a cross to the downside of the red moving average underneath the yellow moving average, there has been a minimum correction to the green moving average. Every time, and it has been profitable 11 out of 13 times. Again, I don't really care about this setup in terms of trading it. What I care about is in terms of general directional analysis. So now that we've actually hit that target, which happened a couple days ago right here, there is now another setup emerging, very, very similar, and being that it is a higher term time frame, a little bit more powerful as well. This is the 2-day time frame over here. This is on Bitcoin Index, and we are about to see the next major cross to the downside between these two major moving averages. The red is crossing to the downside of the yellow. It will close tonight in 10 hours, 26 minutes, and 29 seconds and counting. And if Bitcoin is basically anywhere below 114,000 US dollars, you can guarantee that those will cross. And well, what do you know? The next sort of logical target will be, or not logical target, but the next historical target will be this green moving average down here, which is currently at 109,850 or so. So whether it hits it, grazes it, or stabs a little bit below it, something like this, I don't know. But ultimately, I would be looking for price action to be pulled into that region at some point in time. Does it happen sooner rather than later? I don't fucking know. What I can tell you is that price is likely to come down around here. Maybe there's a rally between or not. That's what makes this picture a little bit more complicated, because I could very easily see a short-term bounce, a big one as well, maybe even up to like 117, 118, 119 region. But ultimately, I would be looking for this condition to be fulfilled in the exact same way that we saw this condition fulfilled over here. And by the way, if you recall, the week before this one was fulfilled, we also saw the 12-hour time frame have the same setup fire off and play out as well. So this one now is about to be in motion, and I can show you the last times that this has happened throughout this bull market. So since 2023, there's been 8 prior iterations, and when this is fired off, it has closed positively from open to closure 6 out of 8 times. So 75% strike rate to produce a profitable trade. But again, just because it signals doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going to head down there immediately, although usually it does, to be fair. So we can see this most recent example over here. This was from February of this year. This one basically just ground its way down and obviously went much further down than that. In fact, if you get something like this where Bitcoin grinds out this region for a long time, it's probably a good indication that it will head lower overall. But at least that target was met, relatively later on, in this particular one. This one over here, this one hit basically in the same stab. This one barely really counts in my opinion. But yeah, it did happen all in the same go. This one over here happening very, very quickly. This one over here happening a little bit slower, and there was a rally in between. So again, I do want to state, hey, there can be a rally in between, and it might even be a big one as well. But just understand that, just like the other setups, it's very likely to come back down to these regions here. This one over here, almost immediate. This one over here took its time. Again, notice the grinding action, the grinder. and it goes lower is my point. Same shit over here, goes a little bit lower as well. And this one as well, just, all in the same stab. And by the way, this is also consistent with prior cycles as well, although I'm not testing them in this exact setup, but you can see back in 2021, same shit, boom, heads down to the 55, grinds it out, and then lower. This one over here hits it basically on the same stab. That one goes back up. This one over here hits it, relatively soon, and then it does go much lower. Again, this one over here, all in the same go, so on and so forth. You get the idea. I'm not going to repeat it more than that. But yeah, if Bitcoin does get a rally, where could we see Bitcoin come in around? I'd be looking maybe somewhere around the 382 level or the 50% level. If Bitcoin does get a rally, that would be about 116.5 to 118-ish region. Again, I'm not saying it's going to get around there, but if it does, just be aware that these are kind of to be expected as lower high areas, because anything below now the 13th or 14th of August high at 124 is quite literally that, a lower high. So Bitcoin kind of in jeopardy of initiating like a real downtrend here, especially after already retesting that last prior low right here. So if you have the same lows and then a lower high, the odds shift in favor obviously of downtrend continuation or downtrend reversal. Anyways, moving on from there, and let me get my notes back out and flying around. We can see that the HPDR, with which I need to load again, one of my most prized and favorite indicators, although it's not used enough. This one on spot price action is operating below the median for the first time in a long time, and if it does play coast to coast with the 38.2 level, which probably moves up after the end of this week, that's going to be an area of interest. And that is at low 100s. I think that will likely rise up somewhere around 105 to 108 region coming into next week. CME, we also have a chance to see at the end of today, because the weekly closes today for CME, a closure below the median, which will happen if Bitcoin closes below 113,300. And again, that would open up the likelihood that Bitcoin sees, this coast to coast play where it fails the Bing and then it heads all over to the Bong. Again, that 38.2 level very likely will rise up into next week, so maybe somewhere around here in the middle. But yeah, that becomes a natural area of interest if Bitcoin does get down around there. And on top of all of this, we can see several other things, right? We can see several other things pertaining to our other momentum indicators. We can see over here, weekly time frame for Bitcoin, again, closing later today. It's going to have bearish divergence of 1, 2, 3 drives variety throughout this whole cycle. And even in the short term, it has a high here, on lower highs for the RSI alongside higher highs on price action. So, at least that's going to be, generally the easy target for that is down to the yellow moving average, which is 107, 108 region. So again, that does kind of align a little bit lower. That's probably around where the HPDR comes in next week as well, maybe a little bit lower than that. But again, multiple things kind of suggesting the same thing. And on top of that, we do have, if you are a pattern bro, we do have a rising pizza here, which looks like it's about to break down. Sorry, let me put on regular scale. This one will technically be broken down if Bitcoin basically closes anywhere below 117 by the end of today, again, on CME. And, you do have a technical target, I guess, pointed somewhere down to lower 100s on that. And then on top of this, for stochastic momentum, we can see higher term timeframes for CME, again, closing later today, like the weekly, are going to continue to the downside here, successfully losing the critical zone for the first time in a very, very long time. It's been up there all since May. And that is a signal in and of itself, typically, and that remains positioned to the downside as long as Bitcoin's below 122,400. So, I do think that, people aren't really taking these signals maybe seriously enough right now. While I do think Bitcoin can very easily get a rally in between here, overall, I think that's an opportunity to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Basically, you can figure out what the fuck I would be thinking in that situation if you're not lobotomized. Anyways, yes, on top of that, the biweekly it's not closing today. but that's going to have a real chance to break the red moving average for the first time since April. That's going to be next week, so it's still far away. Maybe I'm speaking about this too soon. The 3-week time frame is actually still above the red 5 EMA. That is 109.750. So 7.5 hours left in the day to go. If Bitcoin were to close below that by end of day, then that's a very nasty signal. But on top of all of this, remember the 3-week stochastic momentum oscillator, which again closes tonight for CME, is going to cross to the downside for the first time since January, preceding the January correction, if Bitcoin finishes the day below 114,600. And it's also in the same area that we've seen on many of the major highs throughout this current cycle. Now, the most lobotomized comment that I see every once in a while is, oh my God, are you saying that the bull market is over? Okay, I don't know if the bull market is over or not, but I do think Bitcoin's headed into a prolonged corrective period. And that's okay. We've seen this many times throughout this cycle. And guess what? In traditional markets, for actual mature assets, not fucking crypto lobotomized bullshit for retarded morons, typically you see healthy behavior marked off by long-form consolidations, like you see right here, right here, right here, and then continuation. That's actually a sign of a maturing, healthy asset. Very nice, very good. But unfortunately for the crypto herpety-derps of the world, we want parabolic, baby. Parabolic. Throw that fucking green dildo so far up my asshole, it goes right through my mouth hole. And now we're a goddamn bowl of shish kebab. And I'm fucking rich for the first time in my life. But my soul is poor. My soul is poor, but my pockets, my crypto wallets are rich. My crypto tokens have made me rich. My highly esteemed crypto Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Anyways. On top of that, weekly MACD is about to cross the downside for the first time in a long time. It's probably not going to officially do it on this next one, but next week it should open up down, I would guess. I can be wrong about this, but again, there is some bearish divergence between the highs of January of this year and the highs over here. Not great. Just another thing kind of to add on, to the overall, I guess, spiel here. Anyways, I made a very quick post about this on Twitter earlier this morning. And look, if Bitcoin does correct, much further south, let's say, there has been one major area of interest that Bitcoin has absolutely loved throughout this current cycle. And it has been the green moving average here, the 55 EMA on the 5-day time frame for CME. That was your low in April of 2025. That was your low of the 2024 correction. And that was also your low twice, actually, in the 2023 mid-cycle corrections over here as well. So, if Bitcoin really does initiate one of these more massive, nasty corrective phases, perhaps in the next couple months, I guess that's where I'd be kind of looking towards. It will naturally rise up over time. I imagine it'll get to 95 to 100,000 bucks in the next few weeks. But as of right now, yeah, it's all the way down in the kind of mid to low 90s. I don't think Bitcoin's going to go there right now. I do think it's very possible. Again, there might be something like this, a quick bounce, boom, okay, oh, everything's normal again. Oh, fuck, I'm wrecked. And then, oh, it's over. It's crowned. You blah, 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 blah. You're fucking retarded. And then it goes back up. Something like that. I think is definitely possible. And I think that that's fine. And look, I am not beholden to this 4-year retard cycle, okay? If Bitcoin does something like this, where it spends a lot of time consolidating, just like we've seen in the past, in this past couple years, I would look, if Bitcoin does something like that, I'm going to be bullish, for continuation of new highs in 2026 or maybe very late this year. I think it's very possible. But for fuck's sake, man, this can take many different forms. I have no idea which way it's going to take, but I can tell you that I am biased overall to the downside here for a corrective phase that probably lasts, more than at least, a couple months. And if we get something like this, that would be massively bullish in my opinion. So fair enough. Anyways, as always, I reserve the right to be wrong about absolutely fucking everything and have absolutely zero responsibility. At the end of the day, I'm not your financial advisor. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. John Brienne says, I like my Chuck E. Cheese tokens. I do too, man. And was it Round Table Pizza? We went to fucking Dave & Buster's actually a little while ago. It's pretty fun. Dave & Buster coins. That's what a lot of these things are, man. They're fucking Chuck E. Cheese tokens and Dave & Buster coins. Bring me a higher low, baby. I mean, that would be a macro higher low there. That'd look absolutely beautiful in my opinion. Headphones ruined. What's up, Mr. Van Duysen? Good to see you, man. The Hodge twins, yes indeed. The Hodge twins, one of the most OGs of the internet, of the internet. They've gone a little bit crazy now. They've gone into the Jews are responsible for everything crowd, but I still think they're funny. They're fucking funny, man. But unfortunately, everyone is susceptible to the retardation of the world. Most of all, me. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. Like, look at me. I'm on the internet talking about magic internet money. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyways, I bought shares in Pooper Sniffer Coin. Sounds like a great investment, sir. I like it. Where can I sign up? I'm definitely getting banned for this video. But like I say, look, I don't use these terms to be inflammatory. I don't use them towards any particular person. I don't use them with the intention to offend. I just use them as a expression of self and nothing more and nothing less. All right. Okay. Pisa says, hey, Crown, what's up? Can you check out XRP? Yeah, let's check it out. What's XRP doing here? And by the way, Mr. Powell's talk starts in like, what, 14, 15 minutes now? I believe last we looked at it, I said down to like 290. It has exceeded that target. Similar to Bitcoin, you know, you're around this prior low here. Maybe it stabs, you know, exactly to it, like 270-ish region first. But I do think you're more likely to try at least a bit more of a bounce before anything else. I am biased towards that on Bitcoin as well. I do think, you know, you might stab into this region a little bit more, but I generally think this LARP line is still going to be about right. I think it's going to be, okay, maybe not to like new highs or anything like this, but, you know, if it bounces up and puts in a lower high in like the low $3, okay, yeah, fair enough. Then maybe corrects lower a little bit later. But I don't think it's just going to like shoot through the fucking floor right here. Although I do think more longer term, it probably has a little more downside. But just like Bitcoin, look, it can reconnect with that red moving average, which is not that much lower to be fair, and still be in a long-term okay position. I just think it's going to take its time, man. I just think it's going to take its time. You know, where would it actually run into issues? In my opinion, it'd run into issues below about $2, which is not helpful. That's too far away right now. That's where I'd get like extremely bearish, saying, okay, bull market over, you know, send your fucking XRP tokens back to the Hades and beyond. And on the other side, I would say, hey, I'm wrong as fuck, and this thing is bullish as hell if it could trade back above this lower high here at 338. It's the same condition as before. But yeah, just kind of wrapping up my thoughts. I think short-term bounce probably puts in a lower high, heads a little bit lower, and then come back to it after that. We shall see. Stephen Schickman says, GM, good morning to you as well, sir. Doggy daily, weekly, and monthly, please. Let's see what the old doggy derp is doing. So we've been saying for a while now, likely comes back down somewhere around 20 cents. It's very close to 20 cents at this point. Similar to XRP, it's like, do I think you have that much more downside here before a bounce? No. I think that you have some downside, most likely, you know, maybe closer to 20 cents even. But I think you're a lot more likely to bounce off a region like this. 200 simple on the daily. It's also your last prior low. You know, you got a lot of things going for it there. I don't necessarily know if I'd say it's going to make new highs on that bounce, just like XRP. But look, I can tell you exactly where I'd get bullish on it. It would be on this high right here, 24 and a quarter cent. So, you know, wrapping up my thoughts, I think it's going to grind out this level a little bit more, maybe a little bit lower as well, and then try for a bounce. If it fails anywhere below 24 and a quarter, that's where I say, okay, get ready for this thing to come down more. You know, maybe at that point it comes down to like 17 and a half to 16 and a half cents. But I'd really want to take this, you know, this portion, you know, one step at a time, just because it can take many different twists and turns, and the picture can change very, very quickly. That's what I feel confident with right now. Yeah, but closing below 20 cents on even a 5-day time frame, that is going to start to look pretty nasty. So at that point, yeah, I would look for a correction into the mid-ish teens, 16, 17 cents region. Monthly, I'm not really getting anything unique from this one, to be honest. Quarterly, I mean, again, the higher term time is still not like terrible or anything like this. You know, even Bitcoin here, like, okay, that's a little bit more ominous. Monthly looks, it's got 9 days left to go. A lot can happen, but so far not the best, as is the bi-monthly, and this one's also closing. Actually, got to add that one to the list, because if that one turns down, that's going to be ugly. Gallo says, still happy with MetaSignals, but what are your thoughts of taking signals when external shit like Jackson Hole is happening? I think in general, whenever you have a setup and you have a macroeconomic event or one of these events that, you know, is known to produce some volatile price action, you can take those signals, but you have to go into it with more of like an artist mindset. It's like, it's not going to be perfect. You're probably going to get some nasty wicks on both sides. You know, the settlement of those, you know, of those candlestick periods should still theoretically be somewhat normalish, but that's where you kind of expect more outlierish behavior. So yeah, for me, when I was trading manually, not automated like I do now, but when I was trading manually, I would actually not trade during these times just because weird shit happens. And typically there's a very obvious trade, like a little bit after the event happens. That's typically when the market picks a direction and where you can trade with a little bit more confidence. But yeah, during the event, I mean, weird shit happens, man. And this is not going to be much different than like an FOMC meeting. You know, people are going to analyze his words in a similar way. So you can kind of expect the same bullshit. Anyways, Arms Private says Ethereum short term. Short term means what to you, sir? Yeah, again, here, you know, long term, this is not bad. This is not bad. Like, I'm not bearish on this chart. Do I think it's going to pull back? Sure, it can afford a pullback. But the bi-monthly chart here is actually like very good. I mean, it's very good as long as you're above 3,000, which is a tremendously massive range. Anyways, short term. Ethereum's actually acting like quite well here, to be honest. All things considered, it looks like it's putting in a higher low right now. Again, I think most things are going to bounce in the short term, as is Ethereum. You know, does it head up to like 44.30? Maybe. We'll see what happens when this event comes around. But most things are pointing to a bounce for me. Now, if it did have a quick wick down to this area here at 4,000 or sorry, 4090-ish region, just this prior low, I would say I'd be looking for a bounce there. But you know, to me, it looks like it very well could try an extension of this bounce from here. And maybe it goes up all the way to like 45, 46. Again, if it reclaims its high at, from, what is it, Wednesday? Yeah. Then yeah, I would be looking somewhere around there. I mean, Ethereum's actually acting one of the better or among the best right now in the short term. So yeah, you know, it's kind of leading the market right now. But anyways, for like very, very short term, like a 4-hour time frame, I would be going off of the price action pivot here and just saying, hey, look, as long as it's above this number, 4,200 on a 4-hour time frame, I guess I'm looking for this one to try a little bit more upside, maybe up to 44.25, 44.30-ish region. Then if it can reclaim that level, then I would extend that target another like couple $100. But for right now, if it were to lose this level, 4,200, I'd be looking directly down around this prior low. Other than that, I don't have a strong opinion on it. If I had to call it, I actually would say this one looks a little more likely to try some upside than downside. So fair enough. Kind of weird when you see something that's doing something so different than the rest. So I guess it kind of more aligns with short-term bounce ideas, but that I feel a lot less confident on than the medium term, which is based off of that 2-day time frame setup now. Eduardo Arrow, Arrow, 1 in 4 hour place. Okay, very, very specific. I like that. We'll go over here. Aerodrome Finance. This one also not looking terrible on the 12-hour. 4-hour time frame, I'd be treating this as a higher low right here. The price action pivots, you know, is exactly where I'd be looking at this one, 128. As long as you're above there, I'll treat this as a higher low, more likely to try back up towards 140, maybe 142. If it loses this price action pivot, I'd just be looking on the other side, somewhere down around about 118 to 120. So there is implications on both sides, but I'd actually be biased towards short-term upside here, similar to Ethereum. So fair enough. Let's see what Bitcoin looks like on the short term. It looks a lot more weak on the short term. But like I said, it really would not take too much to get a bounce here, and like a decent bounce before playing out some of these lower targets. Blake7791 says, been watching since 2019 to 2020. Oh, hell yeah, man. I get to see more live streams and not stay up to 3. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to actually dial in the time even a little bit more. I'm thinking about making it slightly later just because, you know, I understand people on the West Coast, like, it's pretty fucking early, and yeah, we want to be awake during the American times. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, awesome, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate it, man. Pesto, no. Spartacus, hell yeah, man. I fucking love Spartacus. Did you know Spartacus, the character in the show, is he's Bulgarian, which for some reason I have it in my mind that you are. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I'm probably completely off on that, man. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Kurt says, one FARTCOIN moon. Probably shouldn't dox you, even if that if that is you. Apologies, man. FARTCOIN, when moon. Well, the good news is you already had a moon. In fact, you had a couple of moons over here. Went up to 160 twice. 2 whole chances to sell. Amazing. Yeah, man, I have to say, when moon. Well, if we do the inverse chart, it's mooning. It's getting ready to moon very hard. If I showed you this chart, would you be bullish or bearish? I'll just kind of leave it at that. And then inverse that. Yeah, man, I don't know about that. I guess I could tell you where I'd switch my opinion on it. That would be above the last Wednesday's high, the 13th of August at 118.5. Until then, I would be massively bearish on this chart. Even if it does bounce in between, it's got a lot of work to do before it flips any trend that matters. Yeah, man, pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. Are you telling me that a meme coin that has already went parabolic is not going to go parabolic anytime soon? I think that's likely. Then again, I mean, I thought the same thing for SPX 6900, and that thing actually did make a new high. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty impressive. Had to eat my words on that one. Gallo says, what app you used to make your Crown AI chatbot? It was called Chatbase. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I'm glad that people are using it as well, because it actually helps me make it better, because I just like read the comments there that people have, and it doesn't get everything right, but the more times like people ask it a really tough question and it gets it wrong, then I'm just allowed, then I can actually like go into it and give it the right answer, so it doesn't fuck up in the future, which is like, I don't know, man, it's a super cathartic experience to like give an answer to something and then you know it's gonna perform that perfectly for the rest of eternity as long as it's running, I guess. It's pretty cool, man. I don't know. I love it. Anyways, Gary5799 says, interesting fact, last cycle, monthly low, January 2019 to high November 2021, 1035 days. This cycle from low 22 to next month is 1035 days. Interesting. Yeah, and I believe actually, Gary, you could even extrapolate that same number of days for even the cycle before then, the 2017 cycle. I think it was something like that as well. At least that's what I have in my mind. Well, fuck, let's just show it right now. Why not? All right, back to the time. Okay, so, all right, so we take the low of, it would be the 2015 cycle. Yeah, over here. So it'd have to be, was the low right there? No, it was not. The low was right here. Yeah, the lowest price was right here. All right, let's take it from there. Boom. And here. Okay, so 1064 for this one. All right. Okay, last cycle monthly low. Hold on. No, I'm not doing this right. But this one also from low to high. I'm not doing this right. I'm going to get off that topic before I say another dumb shit. Rob A says, AEROUSD, daily, weekly. Didn't we just look at this thing? This highly esteemed piece of technology. Well, actually, it's not so bad compared to most shitcoins. That's for sure. Daily time frame. Overall, I like the trend as long as you hold above the 120 low. Short term, it is a bit more corrective, I guess. Okay, yeah, we did look at it, but it was on the shorter term time frames. Okay, so a couple things going on here. One, you are retesting the sort of breakdown, the major breakdown that you had from January of this year. So these are like very common pullback regions, but you could also read this week's price action as that pullback. I do think it's going to spend some more time consolidating, going sideways, but this is actually not so bad, in my opinion. I just think you're going to enter into a period of consolidation. I wouldn't be calling any breakouts until you're closing daily dildos above 153. And below this number right here, 120, I wouldn't be necessarily bearish on it. I'd just be looking for a deeper correction towards 102, which is a big move for this thing. But overall, it's actually in kind of a good position here, I think, for like a long-term try to the upside. Then again, I go to the 5-day time frame, and maybe I'm giving it too much credit. Maybe it's going to come a little bit lower and then try the upside move. But overall, showing some relative strength, at least in the short term. So yeah, as far as the weekly goes, I don't think it's going to break out to new highs in this rally anytime soon is what I'm trying to say, but I'm also not necessarily bearish on it. I just think it's going to spend its time consolidating here and then try later. You know, that'll look a lot more healthy as it does let some of these momentum oscillators cool off a bit. Yeah. All right. Some more water for me. My hero says the actor from the first season of Spartacus was dope. Sucks he got cancer. Yeah, man. That was I remember that in real time. I was actually like legitimately sad when he passed away as well. He was great. He was perfect for the role. The guy who took over after him as well, he was actually pretty good as well. Like I wouldn't say he was bad, but the other guy was just too hard to beat, man. Anyways, Gallo says, sir, you made fun of my OTC stock. Why not trade those? Low volume or market cap? Both. I mean, the same reason why you don't trade shitcoins, man. They're just garbage companies for the most part. Yes, 1 out of a million will be massively successful, just like, you know, your average shitcoin, and there Bitcoin goes a nice little rally as soon as the speech starts. Fuck, where was I? Yeah, it's just like shitcoins, man. 1 out of a million will be so phenomenally successful that it becomes, people look at it and they'll be like, holy shit, like I need to get into this stuff, but the majority of these things are just completely fucking garbage, man. Complete fucking garbage. So in my opinion, like, why would you trade these things? Just trade a real stock, man. Like you're going to have a lot less fucking headaches, trying to sleep at night thinking, oh my God, is this company actually legit? Is it literally just going to go to fucking zero tomorrow? Like, that's the way that I think. I don't want that extra risk. That's one of the things that I love about Bitcoin. You don't have risk in the same way that you have for like most companies, even, or especially most crypto companies, because you don't have risk of like the CEO being caught, as a pedophile or some shit. You don't have like death risk, all of these things, man. I just don't understand why I would take on that extra risk. To do that. Now, some people like that extra risk. Some people want that extra risk, and some people think that they have an edge in it as well. Maybe they do. I don't fucking know, but I can tell you I don't, and I certainly wouldn't want it. So that's my personal perspective. Again, you don't have to believe the same things that I do, but I'm just relating to you why I would particularly avoid these things. For these reasons, man. Punani Muffin says, really good name. Really, really good name. Punani Muffin says, IREN daily weekly. Thank you, sir. Also, very cordial. Oh, it's an actual stock. Okay, nice one. On NAS, okay, nice. Having a bounce alongside everything else. And this thing actually looks like it's ready to make new highs, man. This is good. This is very good. On the daily, the weekly looks a little bit more ugly to me, but the daily I really like here. I'd just be generally bullish on this thing as long as you're above, again, the most recent price action pivot low, 1723, 17 and a quarter basically. I'd be looking for it to pop up, probably retest this prior high, maybe pull back a little bit from there, but continue on with this. I mean, you got a nice little uptrend coming after a nice little correction. I like it, man. This is good, healthy behavior in my opinion. The monthly is epic here. I mean, if that shit trades above last month's high with momentum heading up like this freshly to new highs into levels it's never seen before ever, it's off the charts right now. This thing can really fucking move, man. And there you go. Bitcoin above 114. It looks like she is indeed going to do it. Wait, let's go to Bitcoin. There we go. Yeah, nice little bullish engulfing here on the 4-hour time frame. So I do think that this is going to be the one that does play out these MetaSignals setups. Let's show over here. Is MetaSignals going to nail another one of these fucking things, man? They've been on like the craziest run recently. And I could have sworn, I was like, this one's not going to work out. I think it's going to work out. This one is called 114,500. You're nearly almost already there. And here you go. God, it's like perfect. Look at this comment right here. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. I'll blow it up. This comment right here. Led us to the slaughterhouse. Like, this poor soul cannot even read the most simple of simple things. Stop loss. Close, 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 you fucking blind moron. Like, holy shit. Why do people think like this? Close below 111,900. Now, admittedly, I thought this one was going to fail. Stats are fucking stats, man. No close below. It's already hit target number 1. But literal lobotomized fucking morons. They don't even, like, this is what pisses me off more than anything. It's not me being wrong or anything like that. It's about it's about people not even knowing when it's wrong or when it's right. It's like, holy shit, man. You fucking idiot. You fucking moron. Anyways, so it looks like that was a 76.15% win rate for target number 1. Looks like it's going to be hit here if it hasn't already. Did it get hit? Let's see. Let me get rid of some of these charts too. 114,300, so not quite there. But let's see the index. Maybe the index traded up there. 114,300. Yeah, fair enough. Black people. No, it has nothing to do with his color. He's probably not even black. He's just an idiot. That's the issue, man. We need to go back to judging people by the content of their character and their intellect, not by their skin color. That's how it should be. That's what racism was back in my day. George Washington actually has a phenomenal comment, and if any exchanges are listening right now, you would have an infinitely more moral business model. Well, actually, no, because there are strategies that will benefit from not having this, to be fair. But this definitely has a niche. This definitely has a niche, and this is a genius idea for George Washington. Pour one out. Someone needs to make a trading platform where you can't open a trade without having a stop loss set up. Amazing. I think it's a great idea. I can definitely think of some situations where you wouldn't want to have that, but shit, it's probably going to be better for more people than not. And what do you fucking know? There it is. Target number 1 hit. Crazy. Oh my God. The stats are statting. And again, his name was Black Crypto Jesus. I was just trying to clarify. No, it has nothing to do with him, with his skin color. We don't even know if he's black to begin with. Okay? We love black people. We love people of all different colors, but we hate idiots. No, we don't even hate idiots. We should be understanding and accepting, because we were all idiots at one time. And I need to remind myself of this. I was also a major idiot. I'm still an idiot in many facets. I've only learned how to do a couple things in life. Everything else, I'm a fucking idiot with. Let's see what target number 2 is here. 50% probability for 116,500. Where's 116,500? Yeah, that'd be right around here. I think that actually is not so. That's not unreasonable. Abrick Ruger says, "Hey Crown, like the edge. Disgust from South Africa." Amazing. Dodgyman has the most lobotomized comment of the day. He's probably Jewish. Yes, that's right, man. That's right. Jews are the real issue in the world. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, that's the one that really gets me, is when people go onto that topic. It's like, that no greater way to expose yourself as an unthinking fucking lobotomized moron. Those people actually do hate. Not Jews, the people who hate them for no reason. Just fucking idiots. I learned how to tie my shoes. No longer using Velcro, so there's that. I actually have zippers on my shoes, and I'm not even joking. It's very convenient. It's extremely convenient. It's beginning, guys. Buy back your bags. It's going up. It's going up, and it's never going down again. So now we got to be on lower high watch. Yeah, so that's kind of the way that I look at it right here. I do think Bitcoin, like I said, can rally like a decent amount from here. But those setups do point lower mostly. I mean, you know, this setup does where, oh fuck, I just deleted it. But the 2-day time frame setup does hinge upon Bitcoin's closure today, especially below like 114. So if it actually closes up here, that's not going to be a setup anymore. But we'll see how far this one gets. Still a long day left to go, but this is looking pretty good right now. I could easily see this one going to 116.5 to 118, you know, in this pocket right here. And shit, man, if you want to replay the 2021 bull trap of the cycle, you know, like right before that first major downturn in the summer, that hit the 618 actually. So not bad. Anyways, God, he meant rich Jews. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I can dismantle these arguments so easily. It's just so fucking stupid. Such a stupid fucking thing to say. Such a dumb fucking thing to say. Oh, God, man. Anyways, what just joined? What did JP say about Jackson's Hole? I don't know, but whatever it was good. The price will tell you the answer, sir. The price will tell you the answer. Yeah, like I said, Ethereum is objectively looking significantly better than Bitcoin. So in this case, it's already taken out that prior high that we were looking at earlier today. I mean, shit, man, look at this. Now that I recognize it on the weekly, it's already reconnected with the red moving average. Like this, if anything's going to be good right now, it's Ethereum. It's Ethereum. See what that ratio is. Has it gotten up to 50, sorry, not 50, but 5 million Satoshis yet? Oh, that one wants to go higher. No, 5 million Satoshis is still significantly higher, so we're looking somewhere around here, I think. How much is that from where we're currently at? Still another 30 to 40% move. Not bad. Oh my God, it's not Jewish people, it's Jewish. Like, people are so fucking dumb. Like, can you just ban all these fucking unthinking morons on this channel? I'm not in the mood today for absolute fucking idiots. Like, Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ, man. It blows my mind. It blows my mind, the level of unpersonal thought that people come into for these things. Thanks, Crown and MetaSignals. Money in the bag. Good Friday, fuckers. Good Friday, baby. Good fucking Friday. MetaSignals 3 hour, target number 3 on Ethereum. Okay, I actually didn't know about this one. Let's go check it out. Let's see what they got. They have had the craziest run recently. Like, the runs should not be this good. They really shouldn't. Probably also means we're in for a pretty bad run. I'm guessing you mean this one. This one at a target number 1 with an 85.25% probability of being hit just below 43. That one's obviously already been hit. Target number 3 was 44.65. So yeah, that one's been hit and closed. That was for the 3 hour time frame. Really good, really, really good. But again, that's just for the 3 hour time frame. I mean, Ethereum is the one that's putting the market in its backpack right now, and it could very easily head up to 46. I mean, it probably does. Like, it's just trend right now. It's just trend. The defense of genocide is always insults. Look at some fucking statistics, man. If it's a genocide, the population numbers go down, and they're not. You're an unthinking moron. You can't even look at the data for yourself. You just repeat dumb shit that you've seen because it sounds good. You can't even look at the data with an unbiased lens and make up your own opinion because you're a fucking idiot. That is my defense. Like, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. Anyways, Crown, do you think if trading, it looks the same? I don't understand what you mean. Crown, do you think if they have trading, it looks the same? I don't know, man. If we have aliens, it's probably like, they're probably not even anything recognizable to us, because otherwise we probably would have, seen them by this point, I would think. It's Assy says Ethereum, Bitcoin. We actually just looked at it, but I generally think it goes higher. There's going to be pullbacks along the way, of course, right? But I still think it gets somewhere around at least here. Maybe it goes higher. I'd be a little bit surprised if it goes higher, but let's say at least a 55 on the monthly. I do think it could go to like 5 million Satoshi, somewhere in this pocket right here. The problem is long term, it's still a macro downtrend. Like, that's still another lower high. But from where it's at right now, that's a 30 to 40% move, which is big. It's very, very big. Why is Bitcoin CME below spot? Probably because it hasn't updated yet. If you're looking at Bitcoin CME, understand that unless you're paying for updated data, which I'm actually not here, it's a 10-minute delay. So you're looking at price from 10 minutes ago. Anyways. Hey, Crown, how high can Bitcoin get on this bounce? Well, I mean, it could go to 100 million quadrillion. Just the probability of that's very, very low. As I've said a million times in this, I don't think I've said it a million times, but, throughout the past couple of videos, I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to go this high, but it could go, I think it could go all the way to like 118, 119, maybe even 120, and that's still another lower high. Again, my major guide on these sort of bounces is the major fib retracements here. So you got 116.5. That would be like the lowest level. If it's the most bearish, that you'd be expecting another lower high. I personally think it's, with the way that this move is looking right here, I think that that's unlikely, man. The 50% retracement level, that one's quite likely. That's 118. It's surrounded one of the MetaSignals targets. And then the 618 is 119,600. This is like in a more crazy manner, I suppose. But that is how 2021 bull trap did happen. So You know, if it did pop up around there, that'd be like my last line. The last line. But yeah. Anyways, what did Jerome say? Whatever he said, the market liked it. That's all that matters, my man. That's all that matters. Anyways, if aliens are looking for intelligent life, they pass right by Earth. Fair enough. Can't blame them. It is what it is. Arms Private says, can Ethereum make a new all-time high from here? If anything's going to make a new all-time high, it's probably Ethereum. It's probably Ethereum, man. Because this one is not in the same sort of corrective stance that Bitcoin is. This one is still in kind of a trending stance. If you see, you know, the weekly already hit the 5 EMA and then straight up. I mean, that's pretty fucking good, man. The monthly, I mean, sorry, it's not the monthly. It's the bi-monthly that I really like here. It has a big range. So don't get me wrong. There could easily be another correction, you know, in, I don't know, September. We're almost at September anyways. Back down to like low 4,000s. But in my opinion, that would be a nice area, honestly. You know, when I see the bi-monthly like this is good. This is very, very good. It's just because you have such large ranges, you can get one of those nastier pullbacks. But for right now, it's up, man. Can it make new highs from here? I think it's probably going to retest this high. At that point, like, what's another dollar on top of that high? So, yeah. He said they might shift their stance. Yeah, that's how the Fed talks go, isn't it? They, oh my God, man. We might do this. We might do that. We're thinking about it. We're thinking about it. I remember that was the game back in 2021 when people were asking, when are you guys going to hike interest rates? And they're like, we're not even thinking about doing that. Like, that's how crazy the speculation goes. But yeah, fair enough. It appears everything's different now. Hey, Crank, can you look at SUI, please? Sure. Let's see what SUI's doing here. Almost 360. Almost has a bullish engulfing doodle on the daily. You know, if Bitcoin's going to bounce, all these things are going to bounce, man. You know, if this one, obviously not as strong as Ethereum, but assuming these things get fall through, you know, maybe you see it back at like 380 to maybe even $4. But again, the problem here is you still got lower highs as long as you're below Wednesday, the 13th of August high. So that's kind of my issue with a lot of these things. Like, the strong ones are pretty much already at their all-time highs or making new all-time highs. So that would be Ethereum. So Ethereum would be kind of the pull position right now for altcoins or just strengthen this market, I suppose. You know, might means long. That's exactly right. People are feeling good about the Fed put. So this is a short-term rally. I mean, okay, so that is my opinion. I think we've been saying for a while, Bitcoin's going to retest these lows from August. It has now retested those lows almost to the exact T. Yeah, literally to the exact T. And then we've been saying, hey, it's probably going to bounce based off of a few things, namely the MetaSignal setup, not this one, obviously, but the Bitcoin setup over here, which fired off more recently right here. And yeah, I think it can rally more. It's just my opinion, my personal opinion is based off of some of the other setups, which I think do matter here. The downside is not over just yet. I think it's going to be a bounce into a little bit more downside, but this is why the picture gets more complicated. The short term is bounce. The medium term is bounce probably fades, but you know, the bounce could last like, I don't know, a week or two, like, well, about a week, maybe. Let's see. But yeah, those would be my major areas of interest, just those major fibs, which correlate quite well with some of the MetaSignals targets over here. So that would be that's kind of what I'm looking at. Chances Bitcoin will follow Ethereum, like 2021. I mean, Bitcoin's obviously going up right now. Do I think Bitcoin's going to, like, it's not Bitcoin following Ethereum. It's Ethereum playing catch up for the first time in 3 years after Bitcoin has been making new all-time highs since fucking 2024. So it's, in my opinion, wrong to kind of look at it like that. Bitcoin's not going to follow Ethereum. Ethereum's just finally fucking catching up after like 2 years. It is what it is. Okay, let's ban this person. He's an actual fucking moron. Oh shit, I can't actually ban him. All right, whatever. He can stay there and say his dumb shit. Yeah, HPAS was as usual, pretty much like the first thing that we speak about on these things. Anyways, all good, Mr. Nash Bonds. All good, ma'am. Powell said reasonable bear case on tariff effects will be relatively short-lived. Oh, sounds nice. I like it. I like it indeed. James Hicks has the best comment. Okay, maybe among the best comments. But Crown, how did MetaSignals know what Powell was going to say? Exactly my point. Yeah, man. You don't know. You don't know. You just know probabilities. The probabilities are the probabilities are the probabilities. And thank God for that, man. Thank fucking God for that. I've already looked at Dogecoin. He's talking dovish. He's talking dovish. BNB is flying true too. It's a crime chart. It's a crime chart. I don't know about that, but I remember it was one of the better ones, or it has been one of the better ones, among the best. Yeah, this one would go in the same. Well, obviously this is much better than Ethereum because it's already, you know, close to those all-time highs. Ethereum's just going for a new cycle high. Although I guess that would also be kind of its new all-time high as well. But this one's been making new all-time highs for a while and also close to making new all-time highs. So I would put it, you know, a little bit above Ethereum. But yeah, you know, there's, you know, these two would be the ones, in my opinion, to be watching. Maybe there's some other ones as well, but yeah. Are we watching this pump Ethereum 7% in 15 minutes? Are we? What do you mean? Are we watching? Like, of course, we're looking at everything, sir. We are looking at everything. We are monitoring the situation. How much of MetaSignals is a part of your trading game? Oh my fucking God. It's not. I use it for general YouTube analysis, man. But I don't actually trade off of it. Sometimes I'll reference them just to like see, you know, what's going on. But again, my trading is done 100% by an algorithm. And for the most part, man, I just buy and hold. Like I'm at that stage where I don't really want to be trading anymore, to be honest. Like I'm holding Bitcoin that I bought many moons ago. Make him write mean reversion 100 times in the blackboard. Bud Fox's Hey Crown, what's your thoughts on BCHUSD weekly? It's surprising to me that this thing's still around, but let's see. Last we looked at it, it was actually kind of surprising that it was actually having a pretty good rally. And yeah, I'd say the same thing over here. I don't know if it's necessarily ready to make new highs above that 640 high, but it is looking better than most things. And in the short term, yeah, you got your next higher low. So in my opinion, it would be wise to just be looking for general upside as long as you hold above 543. You know, does this thing trade back up to like $600? Probably yes. But I personally think it corrects more sideways before taking out this high here from last Tuesday. But overall, you know, to be fair to Bcash, it actually does have a chart that is better than most shitcoins in the medium term. You know, at least it's back around its cycle highs, whereas most things are not. The blood pressure is going higher and higher, sir. I'm going to have a fucking heart attack one day for sure. It's going to be great. Hex Kong says rate cuts were 88%, now 57% chance. At low poly market, Bank of America said 0%. Looks like the jab effectiveness over time. That is actually a pretty funny comment. Okay. Jesus Christ. Can we ban this moron? Take your fucking mental illness somewhere else, please, sir. Immediately. It's not the place for you. Can you do your fucking job, mods? Thank you. All right, amazing. Yeah, man. That's my whole thing with like the rate cuts. Trying to play that game, those things change on a dime, and like I said, it's just not objective. Like you have to guess what someone is gonna think and say. Like again, price is imperfect, absolutely, but at least it's objective. Whereas like rate cuts, oh, they might happen, they might not happen. Oh, we're thinking about this, we're thinking about that. Like unless if you're an insider, we have no fucking idea. We have no fucking idea. Is it over? Was this the bull trap? Sir, it's not going to happen in 1 second, sir. It's not. Let the bounce play out and give it a chance. Give it a chance. I wouldn't say that it's over just yet. It's way too premature. Sir, it's not even been a fucking hour since this thing happened, man. People have way too short. You have way too short of a time horizon, man. Way too short of a time horizon. We've been going down for 2 weeks straight. Can Bitcoin bounce for a little bit? Sure. We've been looking for a bounce as well. It's been going down straight since last Wednesday. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It can bounce for a few days. Maybe it is over. I don't fucking know. Like I said, that's why the short term is very difficult here. But if I had to guess, especially with a 4 hour looking like this, assuming it closes like this, I would assume it probably at least extends the bounce in terms of time. I don't know, maybe half a week to a week, something like this. We'll come back to it over time. Like I said, this is the difficult part in my opinion. The easier part is that 2-day time frame setup. Powell over, time will tell. You mean he's done speaking? Oh, fair enough. I guess the real market resumes now. Have a fucking written plan, people, says Shannon Jackson. That is actually the best comment of the day in like the most sincere manner possible. Look, like the most important thing that I would hope to impart on anyone who bothers to ever watch any of these videos is that, look, you don't have to think anything that I think. You don't have to do anything that I do. I mean, you also don't even know what the fuck I do as well. But the most important thing that I hope to impart on anyone is the one thing that's helped me the most. And it's just a pure heuristic. You must have a plan. And that plan must be defined objectively in advance with at minimum an entry, exit, and stop loss. Like what tells you that you need to enter objectively can't be like, oh, Powell said this. No, that's not fucking objective. Something based off of price, something based off of an indicator, something based off of hard mathematics or statistics. Then you need to have something that is objectively defined for what defines if my trade idea is going correctly. What defines if it's going right? How do I know? And then what would tell me that it's going wrong, that I should just get out? If you can define those three things at minimum, I mean that's a minimum. If you can do that, you are basically going to be doing the scientific method when it comes to trading. And that's where that's in my opinion, after doing this for a very long time, that's where you want to get to. Because once you have that, you're probably going to turn off the YouTube anyways, because who gives a fuck what the hell I think? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. You can have a trade plan that has nothing to do with that, and it can play out. And my analysis can be in another direction, and that might even be it might even be correct as well. But your trade plan giving you an edge in that very specific niche of the market can also be simultaneously correct, even if it is maybe over a different time frame, suggesting something differently. So that's also why I would say, like, at some point, you know, it's great that people tune into these videos. I love it. I love the community. It's really, really fun, despite all the antics and everything, you know, and all of the fucking heated conversations sometimes, which I hope are taken in jest, to be honest. Maybe not always. But, you know, that's what I'd really hope is that, you know, once people get to that level, like, cut out all the fucking distractions, me being one of them. You know, you don't need to fucking, like, it's not going to help you, what I'm saying. I mean, maybe it might be entertaining. Maybe, you know, maybe you just want to like kind of hang out. That's cool. That's a different thing, of course. But once you have your own plan, fucking hammer that in. Like, you don't need anyone else, least of all me. Yeah. You need to trust yourself way more than you trust anyone else. Because otherwise you turn into one of these fucking news automatons, you know, repeating those stupid fucking lines that we saw earlier. And they don't even know what the fuck they mean. They don't even know what the fuck they mean. They just repeat them because they heard it from someone that they like. They don't do their own thinking. They don't do their own research. If you can be that person who does your own research, who puts your own plan together, you will trust in that way more than you ever trust in anyone else. And you don't need to borrow conviction from people anymore, which is where people get into issues. You know, you borrow conviction from someone else because they think, you know, Ethereum's going to 100 million for sure. And when it doesn't happen, or, you know, one day it goes down $1, you're like, oh my God, is it still happening? Should I still be doing this? What should I be doing? It's like, you don't need to have that conversation anymore because you have your own answer. You've derived your own answer. You've done your own work. You've worked out your own strategy and strategy statistics. You know about what you should expect. And that's the ideal position. I mean, probably honestly with anything in life, but especially with trading, man. Especially with trading. Thank you for that, Jelliqui. I appreciate that, man. Oh, you noticed. I've been lifting for a long time, man, but yeah, it's like my other guilty pleasure. Like I was telling a guy yesterday that I met at the gym. It's like, that's basically all I do. I look at charts, I record a video per day, and then I'll go to the gym, and then I just chill. But that's, I mean, honestly, man, I feel like when you're trying to be as good as you can at something, you kind of can really only do like two things at once at any time, in any one day. So it's like, choose the two things that you want to focus on. Like this whole balanced life is the correct life in my opinion is bullshit if you want to like actually get good at something, because you can't be balanced. If you're going to be balanced, you're going to be like everyone else, and then by definition you'll be average, which is fine if that's, you know, if you want to be an average trader, if you want to be an average lifter, if you want to be an average this or that, or, you know, even if you want to be like an average accountant, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. But if you want, you know, if you really want to go for it, like this balanced life bullshit, I think is just a complete fucking psyop to make people, you know, less successful than they could be. Like, whatever you like doing, just fucking do as much of that shit as possible. I mean, look, okay, I say this to normal, well-adjusted human beings. If you are a psychopathic murderer, that's not the way to self-actualize. So don't do as much of that shit. Do a little bit less of that. Just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how I hope it is, Creighton, is that, you know, you can watch for entertainment. Hopefully you learn like something, you know, new. And if you don't already have and if you do have a strategy, hopefully, you know, that's kind of the extent of it. But for everyone else, man, I just hope that the main thing that people get from me is that it all comes down to a plan. I personally like to use statistics and probabilities to derive trade plans and everything. And that's not the only way to do things, just in my opinion, the best way that I found for me. And I think for people who kind of think in that same sort of, you know, who have that sort of mathematical brain, who think in that way, you will understand that. For other people who are more like feely and artisty, you're more like an artist brain, then maybe that doesn't work. Maybe you like to draw lines and stuff like that. That's fine. You can probably make that work if you try hard enough. Where the moon's at. Unfortunately, the bare moon is actually coming very soon. The bare moon is coming on Sunday. I actually have it laid out over here. But yeah, bare moon comes in 2 days. Hold on, let me just 100% guarantee that. That would be, yeah, 15 days out. So that'd be Sunday. Yeah, exactly. What about a balanced diet, Crown? My diet is completely imbalanced. I mean, again, I don't know if you want my results or anything like that, but I'll tell you what, I eat the same thing every day. I eat the same fucking thing every day, and I love it, to be honest. I'll tell you what I eat. It's not even expensive as well. It's not even that expensive. I eat 2 extremely fatty beef patties in the morning plus 3 eggs. Then I have like, I don't know, 300 to 400 calories of potatoes, and then and then of course I have blueberries and some beef bone broth. That's what I have for breakfast. Then after gym or just midday, you know, I'll do a couple of chicken thighs, some good old chicken thighs, and maybe some more potatoes if I train that day. And then for night, I'll have another couple of beef patties. It's like 3,000 calories in a day. I love it. Doesn't mean it's going to be right for you, but yeah. ETH is ripping. It should be ripping. Yeah. Oh, shit, man. I said this thing probably goes to 46, and it went there very quickly. I don't know about that quickly, man. I don't know. I do think there's probably going to be a pullback, maybe on the short term relatively soon, but wow, powerful one. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Very, very, very powerful indeed. So, yeah, Ethereum, I think is the one to watch right now. You know, look at there's a major differential in charts right now between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin charts is just trying to hang on to the lows. Ethereum is the one that's leading the charge to the upside. Yes, there's a couple other ones as well that are around cycle highs or even making new all-time highs. Those ones also get included in that in that basket with Ethereum. But yeah, you know, it does seem like we're in that sort of phase in the market cycle where, you know, hopefully you get the golden bull where they take turns rallying, right? But right now, it's like Ethereum's just kind of keeping Bitcoin from shitting the bed. Have you checked your cholesterol? I actually have. So first things first, cholesterol is massively misunderstood, or at least it needs to be interpreted within the context of the rest of your diet. And this is not diet advice. Go to better people than me for this, which is many people, but someone like Paul Saladino would be a great one, you know, a great resource, very open-minded and very like scientifically based. These guys are great. But cholesterol is, okay, if you eat garbage and your cholesterol is high, and when I say garbage, I mean you eat a lot of processed junk, especially sugary foods, you know, these sorts of things, yes, then you have a big fucking problem. You're probably gonna have a heart attack and you're probably clogging your arteries exactly right now. if you are not eating processed garbage and you're not eating, refined carbohydrates with a lot of sugar and all these sort of things, then your cholesterol level being high can actually be a signal of extreme metabolic health. Because basically cholesterol is, I shouldn't explain this because I'm not good enough to explain it. I'm good enough to understand it for myself, but I cannot re-explain it to you. So I would say search up Paul Saladino on YouTube and type in like cholesterol next to his name or some shit like that. Yeah. That Ethereum candle is heading straight for a WNBA court near you. Hopefully there's no WNBAs near me, but fair enough. Yeah, CryptFool is basically saying what I'm trying to say. I told you about Paul Saladino. Actually knew about him before you, but yeah, I mean, you can also have credit as well. It's all good. I can give you the credit. It's no problem, man. You told me. But yeah, I think he's a great resource, and he seems like a guy who's truly after the truth. Like he's not trying to make something right. He's looking for scientific evidence. Mike Israetel, yeah, absolutely, man. He's great as well. I love watching Mike Israetel. I think he's hilarious as well. He's one of the funniest guys on YouTube, probably. You ever try pork to get the higher creatine levels? Actually, when I was in Finland, I ate pork all the time, man. I liked it honestly just because it tastes good. It tastes really good, man. It's amazing. Anyways. All right. Tomorrow is Bear Moon, Syrup short term. I don't know if tomorrow is. I think it's. Oh, you're probably in a different time zone, or are you in a different time zone? I think it's Sunday actually, because I believe it's 15 days from the prior one. Anyways, we'll look at your shitcoin. Let's see. This one I believe actually was it one of the better ones? I have that in my mind for some reason. Oh, whoops! Hold on, I'm on the wrong chart. My apologies. Let's go over here. Okay, I am glad to see Bitcoin bouncing out though. Like I was getting a little bit afraid it's going to shit through the fucking floor. I'm like, a little bit surprised that happened. Anyways, this one kind of similar to Bitcoin, holding on for dear life at the lows. I do think it will try a greater rally from here, similar to Bitcoin. Maybe it gets back up to like 45, 46 cents or something. But I mean, it's not terrible. I just don't like how in the short term it's relatively weaker. My problem is the same with Bitcoin. It's like any high that fails to reclaim this high is a lower high, and that's 55 cents. You're trading at 41 right now. So we drew up the LARP lines last time we looked at this one. That was probably like, I don't know, last week. It came all the way down to there. You're playing out a little bit too well. I do think it will rally somewhere back around here, to be honest. Sorry, a little bit too big of a circle. Somewhere back around here, I think is probably likely. But I'm hesitant to say that this thing's going to really pull through. Yeah. I really, honestly, Asti, I really don't know. The short term, I think is going to rally. I think that much is obvious. The medium term, I'm basing this off of Bitcoin because I do have a downside bias on Bitcoin for the, not for the short term, but for the medium term. So I'd have to say, I guess that would imply that this thing maybe comes down to like 30 cents, but that would obviously hinge upon its ability to close below. Oh, I already have this area circled, but the low of August, 38.5 cents. So short-term bounce, any bounce that fails to get back above this high, and I'd say this thing is probably going to be headed lower overall. All right. Syrup seems to have had some decent performance. What? Let me see. Hold on. Oh, sorry about that. Bryce Pinkos. GM, sir, been watching daily since 2021. Hell yeah, sir. Mine looking at rect on the 4-hour daily, bigger bounce before downside. Thank you. Well, I think that's generally going to be the direction for most of these things. Again, just mostly based off of Bitcoin. Oh, this thing's already going. Jesus Christ! What the fuck? What the actual fuck, man? Holy shit! I think it's down only, man. Okay, I don't know if this was a joke or maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing, but very bad. The worst chart we've seen today. It doesn't even get to bounce. I mean, I kind of tried to bounce, I guess, but yeah, just down, man. Very bad. Very, very, very bad. Look, maybe it tries another bounce. I don't fucking know, but what I can say, I'd feel very confident on is you're probably not gonna be trading above this high. Dare I say anytime soon, if not ever again. Down as a direction. If this thing's going down while everything else in their mother are getting bounces, that's just a terrible, terrible, terrible sign. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Let's see. I am skipping through some of these. My apologies. Wrong chart, sir. It's wrecked. Okay. Well, that was. Do you mean this one on Arca, like the stock chart? Oh, I don't know about this, man. It's way too new. It doesn't seem to trade. Like you can see, these are all daily dildos here, and it goes days without trading. I don't have an opinion on this. If I did, it would be bad. Maybe gets a short-term rally to like $20, but long-term it would be terrible. I don't know if this is the one that you're looking for though. So fair enough. Did you backtest this diet? I mean, I've been taking like blood tests and everything, and things seem more or less fine for me. I've never been in better health. In what? Just fucking send it to me. All right. Yes. IREN. Okay. My bad. IREN. Yes. I actually don't remember if we did that one, but I will do it now. Blood tests and everything. And oops, things seem more, listening to myself talk in the background there. It's terrible. IREN, we looked at this one on Wednesday. We said it was pretty good, and I would say it's still no. We looked at this one earlier today. Yeah, we did look at this one earlier today, and I did say it was pretty good. And I said it was likely to retest this high. It's already retested this high. Maybe a very short-term pullback, but I do think next week or something like this, it'll go to like 22-ish, 22 and a half, something like that. Overall, good. Can you say Ramon is gay for TA? I can. But should I? Do you hang out with anyone other than your wife? Not really. Not really, man. Pretty happy, honestly. Anyways. Pengu, please. All right. We'll look at some Pengu action. Some Pengu herpity derp. Similar to Bitcoin, holding on to the lows here. So it's not relative strength. I mean, in this case, actually, Bitcoin's already at 116, so it's doing significantly better. You know, I do think that it could rally up alongside most of these other things, maybe towards like 3.5 cents. Maybe it goes all the way up to like 3.8. But long term, not terrible. I mean, at least throughout this bull market, it's made higher highs and higher lows, so doing better than most things. But in the short term, you know, I think you get a rally. I am hesitant to say that this thing is going to continue to new highs or anything like that from here. I think you're still in a long-term consolidation. So maybe it heads up somewhere around here and then turns back down. That would be kind of my disposition on this thing. BTC pumping. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Zain Maksud says, AR, please. Yeah, I remember this one from the banter days. I made the grave error of saying that this thing is bearish as fuck at about $30 right here. Sorry, $35 right here. They did not like that shit. Terrible, man. Absolute god awful chart. Just ugly. This one, I mean, fuck, man. If it can't even get a real rally in a bull market, like, it's just pathetic and garbage. Do I think it's going to get more of a rally here? Yeah, I do think it is. I think most things are going to get, you know, at least pity rallies in the short term, as we've been saying for the past couple of days now. So if this thing rallied up to like 7.5, that's fine. If it even rallied up all the way to $8, that's fine. But it is very bearish long term as long as you're below the most recent price action pivot here at 8.5, or sorry, 8.55. 8.55. I mean, I guess at least on the daily, it does have an uptrend, but I'm very hesitant to turn around these things. I'd just generally be bearish as long as you're below that high. And then for the longer term, $9 is the major area of interest. Jay Powell signifies rate cuts should come. Fair enough. We shall see. REKTUSDT on KuCoin. That's not going to be better. That's not going to be different than the index chart, man. Or at least it shouldn't be. Oh, it is different. What the fuck? That shouldn't happen. That's very bizarre. Hold on. Let me just double check this because that... Okay, so the crypto chart should be the long-term chart. Yeah. I guess there's maybe another wrecked asset or something bizarre. Thank you for clarifying, man. And my apologies for getting it wrong twice too. Got both the traditional market chart and the other one wrong as well. This one over here, you know, again, similar to most things, I think that you're getting ready for bounces, man. I mean, it already is bouncing. This thing's certainly not as strong as many of the things that we've seen. It's barely holding on to the lows right here. But even then, you know, let's assume that Bitcoin continues to kind of grind out on this bounce for, I don't know, 3 to 7 days, whatever it ends up being. I don't fucking know. Can this thing maybe get back up somewhere around here? I don't even know what this number is, but somewhere around here, perhaps yes. But I would just be very bearish on this thing long term, as long as you're below whatever this high was from last Saturday. You know, to me, the weekly looks like a major top. And while it might get a rally in the short term, I think more long term, you're headed down here. But that could take, you know, that could take many weeks, maybe even a month or two. I don't know. So, yeah. All right. Anyways. Dixie, please. Oh, yeah, let's look at Dixie, man. Probably a good time to be looking at it, especially when you got the events that we're having today. Dixie headed down. Headed down. I don't really like doing TA on something like Dixie. Again, it just depends too much on something like Powell's comments, which, again, I have no edge on. But if I had to call it on the weekly, the trend is to the downside. That looks like another lower high here. Yeah, maybe down to like 96. Yeah, if I had to call it, it'd be down, and I'd be bearish as long as you're below the July highs of 100 and a quarter. But yeah, I you know, like I said, I really don't know when it comes to these sort of things, because they're just based off of such different things that I'm not really paying attention to. Can you do Tay on shit like housing rates and shit? I don't know. Trends probably work for that, but I don't know about like technical indicators. I would think trends probably work though, just because trends are effectively human nature, right? Just human psychology. What was it? I was going to say, oh yeah, if you do want to look at houses, the XHB chart, which represents home builders, shout out to the Bazinos for this one. This would be my best correlator for it. And this one you could look at technically. Yes. And you know, what do you know? You have a nice uptrend with another higher low at the green 55 EMA on the monthly. You got the same thing here. Well, this one dipped lower to be fair, but yeah, I did get it there. Here. You know, it's been doing that for a long time. So yeah, if I had to call it, I mean, I'd have to say lows I think are very likely in on this thing, and up we go. What's your favorite Divinity 2? Oh man, you've did it now. You know what I've been playing recently, actually yesterday, is I've been playing Third Age Total War. But as far as Divinity 2 goes, I always love playing casters, man. I always love playing casters. I don't know why. It's just the absolute fucking herpity derp nerd inside me that just loves being a fucking ultra geeky casting warlock. No, in that game, no, I liked being the, what was it? The sorcerer. The frost, like a frost mage in that one. Frost lightning was pretty good. Rally is back until market is panicking about economy going into a recession, but I've been hearing about this recession for the last 3 years, and the market continues to go up. What's going on there? Clay's Garage says tether dominance. Let's check it out. Tether dominance is probably backing off of my zone. Yeah, nice big rejection right there. And I do want to highlight though for tether dominance, like this is what does make me concerned about this thing is that, yeah, I do think it's going to go down here, but again, differentiating between short, medium, and long term. Short term, yeah, down. Medium term, probably sideways within this, box here. But long term, this is a bottoming area. This is the same bottoming area that we saw from December, January. This is the same bottoming area that we saw in all of 2024. I'm very inclined to say that this thing is going to grind out this area with the next move to the downside. So that should be good for crypto prices appreciating, or just prices in general appreciating. But I have to be looking at, personally, I am looking at this area as a likely bottoming zone and a rally to emerge later on. Yeah, I mean, this is my issue with fundamental analysis. Is kind of exactly what Adrian Lefavre is saying. It's just, in my opinion, it's super subjective, and it's like, look, you might be right, you might not be right. I don't know. But that's the problem. I don't know, and I don't have a good way of like verifying. Jobs were strong recently; they are not. It's like, okay, who's going to decide that? Do they get, revised later on? Like these sort of things. Who the fuck knows? So rates being cut, that goes into what the market expects and wants. Party is back. Yep. Jobs becoming weaker. Inflation increasing due to tariffs. Economic in panic mode. Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm probably butchering your name. I apologize about that, man. Ramon is also gay for you. Let him see the guns. I don't like where this conversation is going, sir. It is what it is, man. the funny thing, triggered HQ. It's like you don't even look. My analysis has been calling for a bounce from this region for the last few days, man, and that's literally happening. So when you say the fundamentals just changed, and so my analysis is going to be wrong, my analysis is I'm not saying that it can't be wrong. We've seen it be wrong many times, and it'll be wrong many more times in the future. But right now, it is not. I did say it was going to bounce from these regions. Again, one of the things that just absolutely pissed me off is like, you don't even know if it is wrong, because right now it's not. So yeah. Anyways, fundamentals broke in 2008. I don't know if they broke. The game just changed, turned into a liquidity game, at least from what I understand. But yeah, again, these things are mostly above my head, to be honest, when it comes to that. Because, like I said, again, there's no objective thing in these statements. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but for me, my brain needs something like that. It's just the way that I work. That's why price makes sense to me. It's all 100-year sovereign debt Ponzi. That's a fundamental. Fair enough. Okay. I'm just reading the comments here. I don't fucking know. Based AI, please, for Mr. Impavidi. Sure. Yeah, let's look at some actual charts, man. Feel a lot more comfortable with that than pontificating on the fucking thoughts of lizard people. Absolutely garbage, man. Wow. You have found perhaps the worst chart of the day. I wish I had a prize to give you, but I do not. Yeah, man, terrible. There's one thing that's for certain on a highly esteemed piece of technology like this. Down is the fucking direction, man. Look, you might get pops here and there. It looks like you got a pop yesterday, but all pops fail. So it's all a game of just figuring out, okay, is something like this happening? When is the high? Who the hell knows? The long-term direction is to the downside. That is what is the most obvious on this thing. N. Luisi says, TXN stock weekly? Sure. TXN. Texas Instruments, or maybe you're talking about some crypto. No, oh yeah, it is stock. Sorry. You literally say it's a stock. Okay, apologies for my lobotomy. You know, the obvious thing here is that you got a nice little gap at 212, right? You're very, very close to it already. Probably makes a stab up into that region, then pulls back a little bit in the short term. But long term, you know, I think it's good. Does it pull back very short term and then continue long term? I think probably yes. This looks like a higher low to me. You're already at the prior high, so you got same highs plus a higher low. The probability has to be weighted in favor of upside in this case. Monthly looks pretty good, at least as of right now. I just think that you can get a little bit of a pullback after fulfilling that gap. Maybe in September you try higher. Overall looks fine, man. Can you look at Super, says DGen Heathen. All right, let's check it out. From my good man, Mr. Elliott. Hopefully, it's looking good. I don't love the chart here, man. I'll say that straight up. I love Elliott. He knows I love him. I do think in the short term it's going to bounce, like most things. I think that it's going to bounce probably around 70 cents. I think that would be pretty likely. But if this bounce, you know, basically gets rejected anywhere below this high here, it is a downtrend. So if it gets rejected right here, I mean that's a lower high. You're already in a downtrend, so bias has to be to the downside. But in the short term, yes, upside. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess the hopium is that it does something like this. You know, pops up here, turns back down, maybe retests the low, grinds it out, and then turns it back up. But of course, when the trend is on one side, have to be giving a higher probability to that until proven otherwise. So yeah, SUI. Let's see, SUI, the SUI derp coin. Let's see, where is this one? 360. Same shit here. Little bit stronger than Super. But in the short term, do I think it rallies a little bit? I think it's generally following the LARP line here. You know, I think you probably get a rally up into this region. But yes, just like the last one, you kind of have to be careful as long as it's below this high. Why? Because it's lower highs. So while the LARP line is drawn up, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. Like it might pop up here and then turn down. But this would be probably around this the decision point, I'd imagine. Let's see what a higher term time frame looks like. I'm not getting much from the weekly. Monthly is not bad. And the quarterly is not bad yet, at least. So I'd keep an open mind on this one. So yeah. Nick States 3574 says Chainlink short term 1 hour 4 hour. I remember this one was actually looking among the best earlier this week. So let's see if it's followed through, because this would be its opportunity. And what do you know? New highs on the rally. Sorry, not new highs on the rally yet, but very close. Very, very close. You know, I do think it spikes a little bit higher here, but still, this is kind of a classic situation where like you hit the prior high and then you go into a sideways consolidation. Again, it's not bad long term. I don't think it's bad long term. This is actually among one of the more constructive charts, more long term. I mean, look at the monthly here. You got a clear uptrend forming. It's just, this is the area that you really be expecting close to a pullback and then continuation later on. Something like that. Gold and silver is also rising since Power Speech. You'd be expecting those to be coming down. Let's see. Well, I guess if they're going to take interest rates a little bit down, then inflation goes back up. So I guess actually kind of makes sense. It still holds higher lows here, so it's not bad. Not bad. Okay. Oh, we got an options questions here. Okay, nice. I love this. Mr. Doubledy said, Mr. Doubledy, I like the name, sir. Hey, and you also live in Singapore, which is one of the best places in the world. Hey, Crown, Dad's all in on tech DITM leaps. Always rolling 500-day call. Okay, this is okay. I've traded options for a long time. That is not something I've ever done. Like very, very far out type stuff. Buying premium, not my thing. But we'll read through. Always rolling 500-day calls, 180 days before expiration. Should I worry bear market wipes out entire? Oh my God, he has his entire life savings in that. Dude, be careful with that, man. I mean, yes, like the premium really shouldn't dissipate that much, being that they're so far out. But shit, man, like if you get a real downside move, it will. It will. I don't like the sound of having all your eggs in one basket for anything, to be honest, man. So when you say like entire life savings, I get pretty scared. Look, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you what to do or to tell literally your dad what to do. But I would say I would reduce my exposure. That's what I would do, man. 500 day. Okay, so you're literally talking about 500 days out. Like it expires in 500 days, and then when it's about 180 days away from expiration, you get rid of them. I mean, I kind of see what he's doing. Okay, to be fair, I've not personally studied what these would look like, but intuition tells me, yeah, you definitely could get into trouble with that. But because they are so far out, the premium should theoretically be pretty steady. So it'd take a big move. It would take a really big move to wipe you out. And because it is done on calls, I mean, your loss is limited in a way. I don't know his actual position sizing, so maybe that could fuck around this equation massively, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. Anyway, sorry, I was gonna say SUI, but this is not SUI, this is gold. Yeah, it still holds the higher lows. So fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. What are your thoughts on MM Crypto? I love him as a friend. What? Which one? Just tell me what it is instead of... I literally did that one. I did that one right before that. I guess the question is likelihood of $30 on this exact rally from right exact here. I don't hate it, man. You got hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. I just want to see this one close above 26.40, and I don't know about $30, but I'd be looking for new highs on this rally towards 28. $30 is still kind of far away from like a short-term time frame, but I'd be looking at 28 if that happened. We already talked about Sol, or did we talk about Sol? All right, let's talk about Sol. Let's see what Sol's going on over here. This one also very short-term time frame, some regular bullish divergence, nice, not bad. Daily time frame, some hidden bullish divergence. So I would think it probably does stab a little bit higher. This one actually looking a little bit better than Bitcoin in the short term as well. I think it probably will retest this high at 196, Probably a short-term pullback from there, but this thing actually could bust through. And if it does, 211 is the natural area of interest. In fact, this thing might even go for a real continuation on this rally, not like to new all-time highs. Let's see. I'm looking for something that's obvious here. The obvious stuff is the short term, honestly. You got hidden bullish divergence on all of the short and medium term timeframes. So I'd say this thing's probably headed back up above $200, something like that. When are you opening up Crown's Krabby Patties? It's a good question, man. I make a really good burger, honestly. if you like it massively overdone. Can you do Cardano? Cardano, to be fair to it, was actually looking at like one of the better ones as well. Although I probably was looking at a short-term pullback earlier this week. Let's see if we got it. Yeah, we did get a short-term pullback earlier this week. Went down straight to 80 cents. So perfect right there. Very nice. This to me looks like another higher low, man. At least for right now, I'd be biased towards this one popping back up towards 95, maybe a buck. Like, that's not bad. It's really only bearish, in my opinion, if it comes back down below this week's low. It really closes below there. But for right now, actually okay. Yeah, and the monthly is actually decent here, as is the quarterly. Yeah. This one actually really does look like it could make a major move to the upside. All good, Jojo. All good, sir. Are you down with XCN? Probably not, but we can check it out. Am I down with it? Like, what does being down with it entail? Am I going down with it? Because it likes to go down a lot, apparently. No, man, I hate shit like this. Do I think it's going to have a short-term rally here? Probably. Do I think it's also an absolute garbage chart long-term? 1,000,000 billion %. Shit, even then, I mean, maybe it gets a rally here. If it got a rally to like 17 cents, that would be a gift from God, in my opinion. Heavily bearish as long as you're below 2 cents. Mr. DD says, my dad does DTI leaps endlessly. Thinks no loss if he keeps re-rolling. I mean, you can absolutely have losses doing that, man. Yeah. Is this a good strat? I don't know the specific strategy. I don't know like what strike is he choosing. I don't know like what stocks are he choosing. I mean, because that obviously matters as well. Like, it's one thing to say that it would be like saying my dad is doing a covered call strategy. Is that good? It's like in the right situation, yeah, absolutely. In the wrong situation, no, it's disastrous. I don't know, man. I don't know the specifics of it, and but I would say just in general, having all of your eggs in one basket on one strategy, especially an options-based strategy, makes me a little bit uneasy. A little bit uneasy. Does this mean that the lights are on? Guys, nothing's changed from my analysis. Like, please. We've been saying likely bounce off of the lows for Bitcoin. Nothing has changed just yet. I'll tell you exactly where it changes for me. My analysis will change on Bitcoin from being short-term bullish to medium-term from short-term bullish and medium-term corrective to being short-term bullish and medium-term bullish and long-term bullish if Bitcoin can get back up and close a higher term time frame above the 618 fib here, which is 119.5. If it can do that, that would be my signal that, hey, something else is going on. Until then, these are the places that I'd be looking at for lower highs. I highly doubt it's going to be the 382 here because Bitcoin's already there and it's just the first day of a bounce. Again, Bitcoin's been straight down for more than a week now. It's completely reasonable to expect a bounce can get drawn out for many days. It can definitely happen, and it's okay. It's to be expected. The market doesn't get resolved in one fucking day. We don't go to 1 million in one day. We don't go to 0 in one day. KN says, my dad hits me. Well, have you been a bad boy? It's a good therapy session today. Clay's Garage says, GM, insights on best way to buy puts on IBIT to protect Bitcoin holdings. It depends where you're where you bought your Bitcoin, honestly. But you know, where would I be buying puts? I mean, I don't really like buying premium, man. So you're asking a person who would not be doing that to begin with. For right now, I'd be bullish on IBIT in the short term. I think it's going to pop back up towards like 67, maybe even fulfill the gap here at 68.25. IBIT actually looks a lot better than spot Bitcoin right now, to be honest. You know, but if I wanted to buy puts, I'd wait for it to get up here, and then I'd maybe buy, maybe then I'd buy like some 64 or 65 strike puts. But again, I hate buying premium. I don't think it's a wise way to do things. I think you unnecessarily just bleed out money. Anytime the stock price ticks up, you're going to bleed. And then when it comes down, like, you barely get anything back. You're just fucking, that's when you really are giving the market makers just your hard-earned money, or whoever sold you those puts, which probably going to be a market maker, but could be anyone, to be fair. Can you explain how a MetaSignal strategy is made? Absolutely not, man. Because one, I'm not behind it, or at least not in, like, you know, the most active way. And then two, well, they're not going to give away their secret sauce, man. Like, what algo okay, the indicator that's behind it, I can tell you that. That is actually one of my former indicators called the Jewel. And yes, I've helped out with formulating some of the strategies. I've given some direction here and there, but I actually do not know their full strategy. And at this point, they have a completely proprietary system that is, I mean, shit, man, the fucking owner told me the costs of, like, these things the other day. My jaw kind of dropped. I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Is this necessary? But yeah, the Jewel is what is the underlying driver of it. But at this point, like, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I actually don't even fully know. I bet good for IRA only, else just buy Bitcoins as stonkered. Yeah, I mean, well, look, like, everyone has their different dispositions, right? But I think in general, if you are even somewhat savvy on the interwebs or with computers, it makes a little bit more sense to just buy straight up Bitcoin, right? At least you get to hold it. But buying IBIT, you know, I don't think it's a terrible thing either, man. Like, look, I know people have their issues with BlackRock because blah, 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 blah. They're the ones who are running the world or whatever the fuck. I don't know if any of that's true. I think it's all kind of just bullshit. They're really just buying shit on behalf of their clients to begin with, so it doesn't really make sense. But I mean, if you want you know, the safety that comes with investing in stocks, do that. If you want the safety that comes with holding your own coins, do that. Both of them have their own pros and cons, right? If you hold something in the stock market, like, you can't really get hacked because, you know, your name is on the ownership certificate. With Bitcoin, like, no one can confiscate it from you. So there's that. And then also, of course, you know, you have major risks. Like, what if you lose your keys? Then it's fucking gone. You can't really lose your keys if you own IBIT. So I can understand why people would do both. I think ideally you probably have a little bit of both, honestly. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Get with the hype has my exact thoughts. Like, I can definitely see why that's, like, super valuable to many people. I mean, even myself, man. Like, I don't even feel comfortable with Bitcoin wallets. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is so easy to fuck up, man. You want self-custody, not your keys, not your coins. I mean, you know, I don't disagree with you. I just think most people don't see that as an issue, you know. Anyways, probably a good time to shut this one off, man. I'm not really a big fan of discretionary style of trading. I've seen some people make it work, but then again, you never really know what's actually going on beneath the hood. In my opinion, discretionary trading, for a lot of people, is just a way to hide your results because, well, you're just not fucking, you don't know. How can you backtest your strategy when your strategy is discretionary? It's not objectively defined. That's exactly my point. So it's like, great. The cross that you talked about earlier today gets invalidated at a certain price, right? Thanks. Yes. In fact, let's end on this because I actually need to know for myself. I forgot what it was. But let's see. So we're on the 2-day time frame chart right here. Yeah. So it's going to be invalidated as long as Bitcoin is especially above about wherever the yellow moving average is. That's 115,700. Earlier, I believe I said 114. No, that is wrong. It's the yellow moving average right here. That's 115,700. So if Bitcoin finishes a day above there, then that actually is invalidated. You are 100% correct. Yes. And so it's not that it's invalidated. It's just it hasn't been validated as a setup yet. So it's not there just yet. It still can happen. With 8 hours, 51 minutes, and 33 seconds and going, Bitcoin just needs to hold up above about $1,000 where it's at right now. If it goes below about 115.5, that's where this might actually cross. we'll see. I guess we'll have to see if and when that does happen. But for right now, it would not be in there. So it actually would change my analysis a little bit. But I still do think that there are some corrective signals on the higher term timeframes that should be adhered to, at least personally. So yeah. Anyways, we shall see. I think we'll have a better picture of it probably by the end of today. And if not by the end of today, definitely by Monday. But we'll see. We'll see. For right now, Bitcoin rally playing out kind of exactly as we have been looking at. I still think it can go a little bit higher, but again, I don't really change my opinion on the current segment of Bitcoin as long as you're below 119.5 at maximum. So yeah, that's where we're going to end things for today. Again, massive thank you for joining in. As always, apologies for the very, very incendiary comments earlier today. I apologize for that. We're just having a little bit of fun. And with that said, we shall shut things off, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully Monday.